So, it's been a hot minute since I've done a crafting sculpting video, more specifically miniature things. On this channel, I used to do so many tiny things, from miniature resin environments to recreating some of Mariah Elizabeth's creatures into creatures of darkness. And heck, we even turned Mariah into a monster. All of these videos will be linked in the description. But look, I have actual clay. I am now going to be an artiste again. Yes, for those of you who've been yelling at me in the comments,
oh look, her name is Nerdy Crafter, but she doesn't craft anymore.
I see you. I see you, and I've heard that joke many times, and now find me. Look at me in the eyes. Come a little closer to my eyeballs. I see you. In all honesty, I am both nervous and excited to get back into clay sculpting, and I figured what best way to do it than to actually make miniature versions of Mariah Elizabeth's most known characters as absolutely tiny things. And for those of you who don't know Mariah Elizabeth, she is one of the most fun and playful artists here on YouTube who does anything from customizing objects to squishies and even turning art into squishies. If you haven't already subscribed to her, make sure that you do, and let me know which one of the figures that we will make today is your favorite by the end of this video. Also because I'm looking for approval, because I haven't done this in a while. I just need someone to tell me, Jackie, you did a good job, bro. Hurrah. Jackie, and then I'll make more. Okay, what is that, Jackie? I don't know what you did with your hands there, but okay, just say it. Now, in order to get to know the characters that we're going to be sculpting, let's check out the yearbook. Because in this book, we get a lot of information that we wouldn't otherwise have known about these characters. For example, did you know that Pickle the dinosaur, the most iconic character in Mariah Elizabeth's universe, is a chess club member, part of band, and it looks like Pickle played the trumpet, basketball team, marching band, photography club, and the yearbook club. But Pickle is also the valedictorian, and we get some information here with favorite color, favorite dessert, favorite subject, and extracurricular activity. I think this is absolutely adorable. It does give us a lot to work on, but for now, we're just going to try and make the character as true to the look as possible.
But Jackie, what does that mean?
I am glad you asked. Before we bring out our trusty clay, let's look at the different styles that Pickle comes in. There are two most significant ones. The first one being in his actual dinosaur form, on four legs, just kind of with a little bump on the back with that neutral face that Mariah has made him in. And then there's the cute teddy version of Pickle that a lot of us know as plushies. So I kind of debated doing the dino form and then also doing the non-dino form, more like the plushie. So let's see where inspiration takes us. So we're going to take our 30 color of Sculpey. This is the Sculpey 3, which means that it's actually pretty soft and it's easy on your hands. And I have to say I'm pretty pleased with this palette because it looks like we already have a Pickle green, which is just staring me right in the face over here. Part of me wants to make it just a smidge lighter, so we're gonna grab this white. Oh, by the way, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you do, because I wave sharp, pointy things. Are they dangerous? Absolutely not. It just stays in my hand and does wiggly things. Nice little wiggly wigglies. Salty Crafter, I can tell that all these different expectations from different sources are getting you stressed and not knowing what direction to take. And I know that many of you grains feel that way with the internal pressure, but also sometimes external pressure of who you want to be versus who you should be. Which is why I'd like to talk about today's paid partner, BetterHelp. Many of us in this community are absolute spoonies. We have different chronic conditions, but we also try our best every day to fulfill what we think we should be doing. And sometimes what we think we should be doing versus what our body allows us to do are not always matching. And that's why it's really important to walk yourself through and be very forgiving with yourself. Having someone to talk to break down the vague feelings of being quote unquote behind on specific concerns is absolutely important. For me, it really did help me going from someone who thought I would be an athlete for the rest of my life to accepting and even thriving and enjoying what I'm doing right now. And a therapist can definitely help you develop a personalized timeline that feels authentic to you versus the social norm or expectation, which means you get to develop your own measure of success, and that's priceless. That way we take inadequacy and comparison and throw them in the trash. And as someone who's benefited from a therapist, I love that BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy more convenient and comfortable. And with the new year, we all have that mindset of a fresh start, and BetterHelp makes it definitely really easy. Because all you have to do is fill out a questionnaire, and then you will be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And the therapists on BetterHelp are credentialed and from various networks with a wide range of specialties. If you're not vibing with your therapist, you can change until you find the right one that is just right for you at no extra cost. And the therapists on their platform are well qualified, and should you need any help, their customer support is here to help you anytime. And hey, if you don't believe me, they have over 7,000 reviews with 4.5 stars. So what are you waiting for? Start fresh with any day of the year with BetterHelp by clicking the link in the description box or pinned comment, or go to betterhelp.com/nerdycrafter to get 10% off your first month of therapy. That's betterhelp.com/nerdycrafter to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you, BetterHelp, for today's paid partner and helping me learn to thrive in what I love. Now, despite the fact that that green looked absolutely perfect, it does need to be toned down quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix some of that white with this one. And of course, it takes a couple of seconds to struggle to get those wrappings opened up, but once I finally do, I figure it out. And from what we can see, Pickle's body is kind of a peanut shape. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my clay and I'm trying to get the exact proportions similar to the plushie in this case. And it's going to be important that we try and match the fact that this is a plushie that is sitting down. So I want that miniature to be sitting down. Now for the head, Pickle's head is a little bit on the oval side. So I have a little piece of clay here that I need to put. But Pickle doesn't have that much space between his belly and his head. So we're gonna have to smush that in there. I'm sorry, Pickle. We'll squeeze, squeeze. Yes, that is looking more pickly. Pickle, you mind your business. You do not even have a mouth to talk back yet. Do you even have a mouth? Kinda there. And now I'm just taking my pointy tool in order to smooth the edges of the head to the body. Now don't worry if this is a little dirty, you dirty dinosaur, you. We're gonna fix all that near the end. But just to give you an idea how tiny this is, just look at it compared to my thumbnail. Look at your own thumbnail and you can see basically what we're at. Now that the base of the body looks absolutely phenomenal, I'm really happy with it. We're gonna go ahead and do the limbs. Now the feet itself looks like it's an elongated kind of little log with a little bit of a feets, but not quite feets, because the claws are only on the front hands. Well, the hands that are the front of the plush. I mean, the feet are kind of at the front. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, but we're doing both the top and bottom limbs. Gosh darn it. Legs and arms. Legs and arms. Up and downs. I just realized that both these limbs kind of look like tiny green sausages. Green eggs and ham? No, green eggs and green sausages. That's what Pickle be about.
You must be hungry.
And next we're adding the stubby little tail. Now I'm not here to judge Pickle's tail, but it is quite the stubby one. Nothing wrong with it, just facts. Pickle, I'm not here to judge your tail, I'm just stating it's cute. I'm not judging. I think Pickle is looking so far so good. Quite the tiny little condensed version of himself. I absolutely love him. Now once I stopped struggling with trying to open the other pack of green, dark green clay is what I'm trying to say. We're now going to focus on the spine behind his back, and of course the claws on the hands, the arms, the front paws. Oh, there it goes. Of course I drop it. It is so tiny, and I have sausage fingers, so let's just give that another try. Looking good, and here's the next arm, also looking good. Now I also noticed that Pickle has a little bit of a bridge around his nose to eyes kind of position. So I'm just gonna take my finger and push a little bit in to make sure that we have that space from the nozzle to the eyes. Oh, but wait, remember how at the beginning I said don't worry about all the fingerprints and the speckles of dust and all the dirt? That's because we're going to be using a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol. And with that, we're just going to make some really light movements in the same direction in order to clean it up. This is going to give us a way more polished look. And I'm gonna take my black clay and add those little cute little eyes. And of course we can't forget those little tiny nostrils. I need another word. Kitty editor, what word are we using? Minuscule? Minuscule. I need you to get out of here because we do not have time for mistakes. Tiny little soicles. Oh my goodness, this is so small. This is so tiny. Oh my goodness, help. Okay, Pickles, do not move. Do not move. Do not move. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Yes! We're doing it! I don't know about y'all, but why is the yellow the only packaging that is legitimately different? Why? It's literally the same kit. Why is this the only one that is different? It's kind of bothering me. Kind of a lot. It's the only one. Okay, yellow do want to be different. And at this point, it really is about detail. So I'm just going to take my purple, yellow, blue, and dark green clay and add the little speckles of detail on the spine as well as the bum marks. And me good! How absolutely adorable is this little pickle? It is so tiny. I know I made the cutie marks. I know they have another name. I just can't think of them right now. A little on the chunky side, but I feel like I really wanted them to stand out. If I made it a little bit more tiny, the colors wouldn't show as well. Now we're gonna go ahead and save that progress, and we're going to bake it in the oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. And here's our absolutely minuscule pickle sculpture. And this thing really is tiny. Here it is next to my glasses in comparison. Here it is next to a Canadian quarter, which is the same thing as a USA quarter. And of course, for scale, next to my sharp pointy thing. Let me know by sharing this video, liking this video, and if we get enough likes, then I'm going to go even more tiny. That's gonna be hard. And we are not done here because we have more characters to look at in here. The next iconic character that we want to look at is indeed Georgie, the pineapple burb. And Georgie is part of the art club, band, and basketball team. Okay, Georgie, I see you with the clarinet. And Georgie is really well known for the body shape of having quite a round pineapple-y shape with stripes and that little green tuft right on top. So the challenge for me today is to try and get those stripes as organic as possible. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using paint or if I'm going to be using clay in this case, which both are going to be quite challenging not to smudge. And as always, I'll be using these pictures from the merch store for reference to be able to see all the way around for the characters. The tail is not quite tail, it's just kind of like a little pinch in the back, so let's give it a try. Although I do really like this yellow, it seems like this yellow would be more suited for the middle part here, so I'm going to have to lighten this up quite a bit. And then eventually we're also going to need an orange, and of course the green. We're definitely going to have to do the belly button. And I actually found that the yellows that I have would work perfectly without too much modification. One is a little paler and the other one is a little darker. Now the one that's paler is the one that wants to be unique because it is the packaging that is different. Yes, you are different, you are unique, therefore you must be special. And I'm basically making a stubby oval, and all I have to do is just roll it between my fingers and then pinch that little part of the tail in the back. And of course, as I'm getting my shape going out, what is this piece? What are you and why are you stuck on my, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Back to what I was doing, the tail. And now we're basically going to make the orange a less intense orange because this orange just seems like it wants way too much attention. And it's like, look at me, I'm very orange. I'm like, no, we need to tone it down. And now that we have the perfect color, we're gonna go ahead and make the feet first. And for that one, I thought I needed this size of circle, no matter how tiny that actually looks. I actually cut it in half so that it can be proportionate to the even tinier body that we have. So it's gotta just work together. I don't know if it's me, but the one on the right looks a little bigger. I feel like it is bigger. It's kind of annoying me, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. And the little feet basically look like little teardrops, and then we're gonna smush it like a saw. And then we're gonna take our little pointy tool and make small indents to look like the little toes. Oh my goodness, adorable. All right, now we just need to put the little feet on top. Oh my goodness, that is cute. Hang on, is this in the right spot? Are you in the right spot? I can't even see because my fingers are covering it. I think it needs to go lower, possibly here. Yes. No, wait, that doesn't look good. That does not look good. We need to move it a little higher, like that. Yes. We're looking good. Now at this point, I'm not sure how the beak is going to look because the shape of it, whether we look at it from the front or the side, kind of has this dumpling slash fortune cookie shape to it. So I'm doing my best by tapering off the ends of this oval and then placing it. And we're gonna figure out that smile because it's quite the wavy smile. Mariah, what are you doing to me? I know you didn't do it to me, but what are you doing to me? Because we're gonna figure that out later. Now let's work on that little tuft on top of the pineapple floofy things. You know what I'm talking about.
Huh?
And we're using the dark clay, but we're obviously going to make it a little lighter because everything Mariah does is kind of more on the pastel-y side. But what is that? Green clay, you also want attention, don't you? Why are my fingers green? Luckily, I keep a piece of cotton with some rubbing alcohol to just clean that stuff up. So if you look at my fingers and they're dry, it's not me, it's the rubbing alcohol. And now I'm taking the green and making it into tiny leaf shapes, almost kind of like a teardrop, and putting them on top of the head one at a time. Now I know this doesn't look too stable, but once we have all 4 in, I'm just going to take my ball nail tool and just push it in the middle to get them all stuck together. And to be honest, I never thought about it, but Georgie kind of looks like a Pokemon. I feel like Georgie needs to be a Pokemon. Mariah, are you creating Pokemon? Now Georgie's mouth shape is quite unique because the middle looks like a frown and then it moves upwards towards a smile, and trying to get that in a tiny version is quite challenging, so I took my time with my pointy tool to get that frown and it still didn't seem right, but I think that's because we're missing the brown clay in order to make that smile outline. So I'm taking that brown clay that's kind of chocolatey, even though that looks like a tiny speckle. Yes, you are a tiny speckle. We are rolling it out really thin here, and we're taking my pointy dotted tool again, and we're going in really small here to try and get that smile going from down to up. Now that the smile is in place, we're going to go ahead and put the eyes. Now I just realized maybe I didn't leave enough space for the eyes because they have to be just at the edge of the beak, but far apart enough not to look extra derpy. So we're doing our best here, just creating that indent with my dotting tool and then adding the black clay in there with the little white dots because we want to make sure that Georgie has a soul. Okay, look at that. No white dots means no soul. Wait, after adding the little white dots, this make me realize, does Pickle not have a soul? Pickle, where are your little shiny eyes? Why you got them depths of the abyss eyes? And don't worry, I didn't forget about Georgie's arms. I just needed to hold them from the side, so I didn't want to put the arms just right yet, but now we have the time and space to actually put the arms. Is the last thing we're putting because all little details will be after baking. And of course, as I'm cleaning Georgie up before putting him in the oven, yeah, why is there a poo-poo stuck at the bottom of Georgie? Georgie, when did you poo-poo? At least have the decency of doing it elsewhere. But now it's stuck on you forever, and you know what? I'm keeping it there. So now we're gonna shove Georgie in the oven for the next 30 minutes. All right, this next part, I need my glasses because I feel like we're gonna have to look really close. Here's an idea of how little my little friend is. Small. I don't even know what am I doing? I have to say I am really pleased with how Georgie looks, and I thought Georgie was going to be the same size as Pickle, but here's Pickle already pretty small, and here's Georgie even smaller. I literally went something like almost 40% smaller on this, so we're getting tinier. So forgive me if the details aren't perfect, okay? Forgive me, it's been a while. But now in order to get the waffle-like texture, I know it's not waffle, I know it's not a waffle, stop yelling at me, I am a very sensitive person. We're going to go in with paint. I did debate going in with clay, but that just did not seem right to me. And in order to paint something this tiny, we have to take a pointy tool and go really slowly, diagonally, and then the other side diagonally. I really took my time to make this because I didn't want it to be too splotchy, but then again, with something this tiny, getting even lines is hard. You know what, I give up. I'm not doing this. This is way too thick, and I don't think this is a good idea, so we're gonna change gears here. Copic markers. I've never used this before to color on polymer clay, but I have a feeling this is going to do well. And we have a fine tip. And so with the help of the alcohol marker, this definitely made it so much easier to be able to get quote unquote straighter lines on Georgie. Georgie, do forgive me, I'm doing my best here. And I did go over it twice just to kind of make it a little bit more dark yellow. The color I'm using is actually called lightning yellow, so it works out. And here is our absolutely adorable Georgie. I feel like the lines are a little bit jaggedy and the angles in the back especially, we don't look at the back. The back does not exist, okay? And with the addition of the eyebrows and belly button, the little tuft of hair was just spot on. And I think what I learned here is that using Copic marker is great for miniatures. Of course, you can go ahead and glaze it if you want, but here are both our characters looking so cute side by side. Let me know in the comments, which other characters do you want me to make? Obviously, the comments with the most likes are the ones I'm going to be doing next. And of course, don't forget to share this video. If you want to watch more crafty things, make sure you check up here. If you want to catch something different like unboxings, make sure you check down here. Until then, I will see you greens in the next video.